Ow! Ow!
Oh,
I was killed!
yeah, my Overlord hacker. Why? What have you done to him? I think we're online. Yeah, we're on. Take it away. Since you're not doing anything.
Oh, you want me to take it away?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What are we doing?
Well, saying hello to everybody who's going to watch this.
No, I mean, like, we didn't decide on what was the name of it.
No, I know, but
So it's hard, I can't introduce it into...
this is number 13, so like, hello, welcome. It's like, hello viewers, welcome to the awesome Minepod number 13.
Okay.
I am Innersphere, and today I am being joined by the amazing Blazing.
Oh.
Hello. And only by the amazing Blazing, cause Nat is too busy doing stuff, I guess. So yeah, we're just the two of us today.
Just
And
two of us.
Yeah,
We
well,
can make it if we try.
just the two of us.
Copyright ID'd.
Oh yeah, well, already you think?
No, I mean, we didn't play any music. I don't think my terrible singing counts as copying.
Well, you never know, you never know.
Oh, I know my singing ain't that good.
I did not see him there, sorry. So yeah, today we're playing some Siege and we're talking about little different stuff involving games, gaming and other gaming related matters. So that's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
So Blazing, tell me, what have you come up with this week? Because you made some.
So what have you come up with?
Made some pretty good suggestions, though.
And which suggestion did you pick?
I'm picking them all. I'm picking them all. Like every.
All of them? You greedy fuck.
Oh yeah, you know me. I'm greedy as hell. Oh, now my sound is too loud. So yeah, we're gonna talk about like game related stuff, which games I like, what brings games in the news, and maybe some opinions people have or misconceptions about gaming or games in general. So
You're already assuming they're misconceptions? How presumptuous of you.
well, some are kinda like they test and stuff, so we know they're wrong. It's not a misconception, it's like a fact.
We'll see.
Okay. Let me just put my stuff down here.
Yep, I'm just boarding my shit up over here. In the, control room.
You in your control room. Alright, I'm done.
Let me try in some holes.
Oh, I'm sticking with you, because you're the doctor.
I'm the doctor. Oh, I am the doctor, aren't I? I didn't. Did you shoot a hole in there?
Nope.
Someone did. So if you look through here, there's a pretty big hole in the door.
Oh, yeah.
Slightly worrying.
Oh. It's okay. We can handle
Oh,
it.
sorry there now.
We can handle it. I can fix it if you want me to.
No, that's fine. Leave it like that.
Help.
What's up with you?
Well, there's a jackal on this side of the door.
Oh yeah, there's a few dudes over there. The window there is gone, and they're securing. It's reassuring when dudes are in the room with you.
Ooh, so... Fuck me! You bloody...
I got you, I got you, I got you.
I got
Don't you
stabbed
worry.
by our teammate.
Oh, they've already did now. Oh, dude, come back and heal you more. Yep,
Thank you.
got one left.
Thank you.
Alright, I got this entrance. No glasses down this end.
He's going down?
Oh no, I got this hole, so... Check cameras. They're gone. There's fire here.
Yeah, Capital.
Nice.
He's here.
Oh no! I mounted a filing cabinet. He's got a tiny bit of health, one bullet will get him.
No,
There you
I
go.
got him. Yoo-doo-doo-doo. Whee! So anyways, let's talk about stuff.
Now that the team stopped trying to kill us.
And we won. I didn't kill him last, did I? Oh no. I got 2 kills. You got 2 kills.
No,
and...
the team killing bastard came last.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
he belongs.
Where he belongs. So yeah.
So, yeah.
We did good.
Our back sound puts in a new lobby.
Alright.
So what question we tackling first?
Oh, let's start off with the obvious. Does gaming make people violent? Or let's just narrow it down. Does gaming corrupt our youth and make them violent little fuckers?
Well, you made that less like simple. You went from like, do games make people violent to do games corrupt people? Corrupt is a very strong word.
I know. That's why I'm using it.
Yeah, but like the answer to that is no. Corruption is yeah, they're not exactly making them unholy, but
Well,
causing
you
different tendencies may be a different thing.
you and me know that we're not unholy, but I think there are a lot of people out there who think when you're playing games, you'll become this homicidal, sexist little fucker who wants to kill everything and everyone, especially women, because you know we all do that in games. That's kind of the trend where everything is going, and you know. Report after report and case after case, it's been proven that it's not the case. We are not being more violent or being made more violent when we play video games. That's kind of the statement where everybody is at. But still, there are some people who are out there and still think or still want to still push the agenda. Let me put it like that. Of gaming makes people violent and gaming people make people want to shoot other people. Like why would you want to push that agenda? What do you have against gaming?
Well, I think the argument is also very different depending on all the different parts of it. So let's take violence on its own as a separate thing, separate from other tendencies and sexism, just violence on its own. And it very much depends on what view you're looking at it, because there's a broad picture. Does playing games make everybody as a blanket thing violent? I think the 99% of people will agree that no, that it's not going to make you more violent. The same way watching violent TV shows or reading violent books doesn't make you more violent.
True.
However, there are games which are designed for adults because they do contain adult content. Now that can mean sexual content. It can also mean violent content. You know, watching someone get disemboweled in like Alien or something. That game is rated. Actually, I believe that's a 15, but regardless, it's rated for a more mature audience. Now, if you're having a small underage child playing said game, I can imagine it can have an effect on them. The reason being is the child's brain is developing. You're exposing them to media which they may not be able to cope with. And that's not in every case. It's not a blanket thing of, a young child plays violent game, the child becomes mass killer.
Nope.
But, for example, there are children who do suffer from learning disabilities, or even just their brains are wired slightly different. You know, they might not be special, they might just be, they might think of things differently. And I can see how being exposed to certain kinds of media could affect that growth. And I'm not saying that turns them into some sort of serial killer, but it could mean that causes the child to think violence is more acceptable as a resort, or more that it's less absurd in the real world than it really is. And should the child be playing those sort of games that could cause that? No. I mean, I'd argue the same point if that child was exposed to certain violent TV shows, or there's other types of content that could lead to that.
True.
I mean, I wouldn't go so far to say it's related to real life content. Shooting someone is not the same as actually viewing someone being shot. But in theory, the principle is the same. It's someone being exposed to something which is... Oh, Capoeira's here on the left. Exposed to something well beyond what they should be. If you could pop this Capoeira, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, but on the other hand, there are always people, and either they can be children, they can be adults, who are wired differently and who are interpreting things differently, or maybe badly. But is that a viable reason for banning stuff, for banning the entertainment?
No, same reason you wouldn't ban violent TV shows. It's just... I wouldn't say it's a blanket thing of games can't have an effect on children, because when you are a child, any media you're exposed to can affect your growth. It can affect your reasoning and what you say. And if, for example, you had a lack of other input sources, let's say you don't have parents telling you what's right or wrong, you will build your assumptions on things based on what you experience. And let's say you only watch violent TV shows and violent video games, you probably would have more violent tendencies. It's not going to mean you're going to become violent, but for example, when you're in a flight or fight response, or maybe experiencing a emotional high situation, let's say an argument, you may feel like resorting to violence could be a better option. Again, I'm not saying that's all cases, but I don't think it's beyond the realms of it happening. But saying that doesn't mean the medium should be stopped. You don't say to people, oh well, Hateful Eight movies full of bloody violence, so we need to ban all guns in movies. It's not really how things work.
True. Well, I think if we're going to include children into this, I think that's a parental thing. So if a child is playing a game that is not suitable for it, like I will not let my son play GTA for the first couple of years of his life. I mean, and on the other hand, why shouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? No, sorry. Why wouldn't I do that? Because I mean, I've been exposed to horror movies like my entire life. My parents never forbid me to see anything or to do anything, and I think children are more in tune with what's real and what's fake than we give them credit for. Like everybody is assuming like, if a child plays like GTA, let's take GTA 5 for instance. If a child played GTA 5, he's gonna grow up like thinking it's normal to get hookers and to kill them and to drive on the streets and run over people. I think a lot of kids know the difference between it's not real, it's a game, and you don't do that in real life because I don't want to hurt a human being. That's something that is, I think, ingrained in our being. I mean, I'm not in. I would enjoy uh, hurting another man or other like other human being. I don't even enjoy hurting a animal. So, I mean, why? Yeah, that playing games
Well,
doesn't change that.
well, taking it back a step from games making, let's say, someone more sexist. So, while I don't feel playing any game would make anybody sexist on the face of it, I play game. I am now sexist. I don't think it works like that. But let's say you grow up in a single male parent household. You don't have a lot of experience with how women are dealt with. Let's say that child isn't raised correctly. I don't think it's beyond the realms that the child could see, let's say, GTA and feel that is potentially how women are treated. And maybe not how they all are treated, but it could give them a worse image. Because again, if that's all they've been exposed to, they may feel that that's normal.
Mm, I see where you're going with that, but I kind of disagree because I think everybody has this like inside moral compass that, even if you're not familiar with how a let's say if you have an all male household and like you're being raised by only your father, there is no mother, there is no daughter, there's maybe no aunts or whatever. It's just you and your dad, and that's the way it is. You still have a moral compass of what's right and wrong, and you still know picking up a girl or a woman from the street and beating her to death to get her money is clearly on the wrong side of morality. It's not good. I don't need a woman in my life to know that is wrong.
Well,
Um, and even
rephrase it then, though. Like, you know of West Bassboro Church, don't you, in America?
hmm
There's similar other cults and sects which will raise children to believe in things which you would say isn't a normal human moral compass. They'll lead them to believe that it's okay for you to treat, for example, think of how West Barrow Baptist treats gays, servicemen, blacks, anyone of any sort of racial minority, and they raise the children to believe that way, and the children grow up believing that that is the correct way, despite all the outside influences of the world, because they're kept fairly, modelled and coddled into that sort of thing. They believe that's okay. So if you take away parent figures, maybe the parents are abusive, maybe their child's abandoned. There's so many different ways you could put it. Either way, if the child's main source of parental is video games, I would say that video games will have an effect. Maybe
yeah,
not
but
to effect where you'll notice any big difference at all, But I think it will have some change.
but wouldn't you agree that the video game doesn't have an effect, but the parenting does have the effect instead of the video game?
Yeah, but what if they don't have a parent? So what if the closest thing to a parent is the video game? Fuck, I might kill the hostage. Nope.
No, you're good.
Threw a frag grenade in it and literally I saw it rolling towards the hostage like, oh, friendly fire, -5.
But that's not a normal situation. If the video
No,
game
but I'm not
is the
arguing normal,
only,
I'm asking, is it possible?
of course it's possible. If your only reference
Hmm.
material is not having a parent and not having anything else, not having a guardian, and just you and your video game system, and you are that's the only thing you know in the world. I Of course that could be feasible that you would think that acting like that is normal and that you may act like that. But on the other hand, it's it's not a situation that is. I mean, if you don't have parents or whatever, you probably won't have a video game system, and you probably aren't playing a lot of video games. Then you have bigger things to worry about than playing video games. Correct?
To a degree, but I'd argue certain children are neglected. They do look for surrogate parental figures. And in some cases, video games do fulfill that role.
I totally agree with you on the fact that there are kids being neglected, and I mean nowadays a lot of kids are neglected because, you know, parents have to both have jobs, and they're just putting the kids at a like a daycare or with people with other people, and not raising them themselves. So yes, there are kids who are seeking attention, and maybe they're doing wrong things to get the attention of the guardians or the parents. So yeah, I agree with you on that, but I'm still, you know, I'm a little skeptic about how in a normal situation, in normal life, how a video game would make you sexted, or I got him, or violent or whatever.
Damn it, I couldn't get around it. I thought I'd try and shoot it.
Well, it was, you know,
to your right. Jump and look to your right, she's behind the bar.
Fuck. She wasn't.
Well, I called it out, right? No, yeah, I'd agree in a normal situation it isn't something which will happen, but there are many people who will abandon their child to a certain degree. Maybe they have they may have brought them up right, but games sometimes may not help certain inclinations, because there are, I mean, nowadays there are a lot of households that still are fairly sexist. For example, there are lots of people who do have racial leanings. So if the parent raises the child that way and then they're exposed to content they shouldn't be, then that could have an effect.
Yeah.
Normally, no, of course not. But I think you know.
If you argue that, then you could argue that any form of entertainment, like the entire broad spectrum of entertainment, from books to movies to video games to even board games or whatever,
Yeah.
can.
No, I'd agree. They can. The only difference is video games is interactive, so it is more engaging than the others, and it is visual as well, which is, you know. But yeah, I agree. All of it can.
But a book is also then very engaging and very visual. I mean, lots of people murder out of the name of a book or some books. So.
Yeah, but I mean, at least for a growing child, if you've got a parent who is saying to you, let's say for example, women are meant to belong in the kitchen or whatever, then you play a let's say GTA, you play a male character and you're treating, I don't know, you think women hookers and so on, that could reinforce it. Now, if you read, you're less likely to find that in TV shows and books because the child isn't going to be exposed to that. But you've got parents who will buy their child whatever, not really thinking about it, and they could then have those sort of leanings. Again, is it common? No. But
Yeah, so
dude, they're all here with me. All here with me.
That's why it's good that they have PG ratings. I mean,
well, that's the I think the bigger issue is obviously how parents are. Like, parents need to be better with the child. You know what they're exposed to. So, for example, from a gaming point of view, there could be some regulated changes which could be good. You know, for example, when a game employee, for example, has someone come in who's underage with a parent, if they turn around and buy the game, they still sell it to the person. I think they're supposed to not sell it if they're with a child or whatever. They say who's it for, and they say the child, and they might not sell it. But 9 times out of 10, well, say more than 9 times, probably 99 times out of 100, that game gets sold to the parent who's just going to give it to the child when the child is clearly not old enough for said game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the bigger problem, is that children are sponges. They do take things in, and while I don't believe games are going to turn into a serial killer or, you know, some sexist pig, or I wouldn't say it's impossible for games above a child's rating to have an effect. I don't feel like playing Mario, where you chase after the princess, is giving small children a negative view of females. But I could see how GTA could, in theory, make a difference.
Yeah, it's stretching it. Let me put it like that. I mean, if you're really nitpicking, I could see, yes, like, all right. But then again, I think 90% of the games, or maybe 80% of the games, could have an impact then. Like, even Siege, what we're playing right now, could have an impact like that. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Siege isn't obviously. I mean, Siege is more of a multiplayer thing, but
Yeah, but you
yeah,
still run
it could
around
have a,
killing
it could
people.
have a, it could cause violent inclination towards the child. You know, it's like a more like the more thing of with this is obviously the winning and the losing, and then dealing with that by killing players. So it's more just might cause that sort of violence. But I mean, I think that's a bigger stretch. But where it really I think comes into it is take something like Call of Duty. When you put children in a competitive atmosphere without parental supervision, it gets very much name calling. You know, it's very juvenile. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, but soccer does
So
that as
when you,
well. So
yeah, but the thing is, the difference is when you're as an adult, you can call someone a fucker there, and that be the end of it. You know, you don't have to sit there and get raging and take it away from you. Now, the thing is with Call of Duty, is online, there's a lot of homophobic slurs thrown around as genuine insults. You know, like fag or homo, anything like that is quite frequently used in Call of Duty, and probably Battlefield as well if you're in parties. But I remember my days playing Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops, and a lot of little kids throwing that stuff around as if it's normal. Now, did that all come from their parents using those words? I'd say probably not. But it creates a group atmosphere where everyone's using it, so it becomes normal to say it. And that child probably doesn't even realize the ramifications of the words that they're using.
no,
But
but
it's still, the child is then brought up by playing a game and communicating with other people way above their age unsupervised, which causes them now to use a word which is unsuitable to use in modern society.
I understand, or still understand where you're going with this, but I'm still inclined to say that is parenting and that is not gaming. That is
But what I'm saying is
monitoring your own kid, and seeing what's he doing, and making sure that even though he's on a game, and even though someone else may call him, whatever, he should always respond with a proper normal reaction, and not. I mean, that's just parenting in my book. But I mean that maybe I'm weird like that. I'm like, you know what? If uh, let's hypothetically say that when my kid is old enough to play games, he's gonna play an online shooter. I mean, it is feasible. I mean, he sees his father game every day, so I mean, it's feasible that he's gonna be a gamer, or at least he's gonna enjoy gaming. So whenever he's online and he's playing, and to a certain age, he will never play alone. I mean, it's only when I'm in the room or when his mother is in the room, and we hear him calling anything like that, or putting out racial slurs, or putting out homophobic slurs, or whatever. He's gonna have ramifications of that. He's gonna know that that's something A, you don't do, and B, he will never do that again. I'm gonna make sure that he will never do that again. Not online and not offline.
No, I completely agree with you. But the thing is, I have sat there and heard untold amounts of children swear, curse, call people racial insults, call people sexist insults, call people all sorts of things under the sun. And I think the atmosphere of playing online wow, builds some of that group and atmosphere of saying, yes, it's okay for you to say that. You know, it's them calling it each other, and then they use it in other games, and that brings it in more, and so on. And I think it just becomes a very common thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if they took that into the real world when they get angry or an argument, and they say what they would online. All of a sudden, they're discriminating without even realizing it. Again, I completely agree with you. It is bad parenting, but at present, it's a hell of a lot easier for you to. I mean, you can show a child like a violent movie, but I think the exposure they get from playing a video game online is worse than them watching a violent movie because of the interactivity of it. And should people parent more? Yes. But
Yeah, but
do feel like the online atmosphere breeds a kind of... It's a bad place, really.
um, yeah, but if we're taking it to the movie part, or let's say the movie and television part, when your kid is watching a television show or a movie and it's constantly doing the same thing as or either being racist or homophobic or whatever, or sexist, if he's gonna watch that, he'll probably just take that also into the real world, uh, as the same as doing it when he hears it online from people all the time. Wouldn't you agree with that? If your kid, if you are watching, if you or your kid or whatever is watching a television show, and that television show is homophobic every single time, and this kid is idolizing this show, he will probably act like that off show as well, because of in his real world as well, because that's his thing of, I'm being tough because I want to be like those persons. I idolize those persons.
No, I absolutely. Although I don't see many TV shows like that, whereas I do see many online games where the atmosphere is like that.
But
I
how
think it's
would you?
easier.
But how? I mean, then it's not the game or the gaming; it's the online community and humanity that is a fault, and not the game industry or
Hmm.
gaming.
But gaming does facilitate that.
Yeah, but online
Now,
chat rooms also facilitate that. If it wasn't gaming, there would
yeah,
be something else.
and if you really want to take it abstract, people getting shot, you don't blame the gun.
No, you blame the
In this
gunner.
case, you don't blame video games, but
Oh,
you do
matchmaking error.
look to see how people got hold of that. Same way, I mean, I don't think it is the right comparison, but you could compare it to a gun in this situation. You know, you you have a gun. People are underage and they use it irresponsibly.
Yeah.
Again,
Uh,
I'm not actually comparing it. It's a bit of a stretch, but
no,
there
no,
are
no, no,
some
no.
parallels there, and
Yes, definitely. But then again, if you are gonna hold, if you have a mentally impaired person, let's say a mentally impaired person, and you say, here, have a gun, uh, the one who's responsible for that mentally impaired person should say, you know what, this might be not the best idea ever. Let's not do this today or ever. And that's the
you
same with
see that.
video games. If you, I mean, the vendor of the video games could sell GTA to a 12-year-old if he wants to. I mean, I don't think it's, I don't know even know if it's legal or not. I mean, if it
It
is an R-rated
it,
game,
it
so
isn't illegal. If you, it is illegal if you sell at least in the UK, if you sold an 18-year-old game to rated game to a 12-year-old, you could be arrested for the same as selling a knife to someone. It's not. I think it's a lesser sentence, but it's still something you can't do. However, selling it to the parent with the child is fine.
all right. Uh, Really?
Recently. I mean, I
I
have
just
Amazon now, so I have no need to.
I
But
just buy them
obviously, when
online.
I was 18 and 19, when I bought a few games, I did get ID'd. Um,
All right. Okay.
a few actually 15s were like, "Can I see ID?" And I'm like, "Well, how, like I only like I deliberately got ID so I wouldn't have to worry about it because even at 15, they're like eyeballing it." But the difference is in the US, if you sold something to someone underage, the blame is on you. In the UK, it's on the company, which is also a bit of a different thing. I think UK and Europe is kind of the same.
Mm, that yeah.
But no, going back to the gun thing, you like you say, if a parent gives the gun to the child, you blame the parent.
Yep.
But if the parent gives the video game to the child, you blame video games.
Yeah. You should blame the parent. Because the
I,
parent
I would
should say this is not suitable or this is suitable for my kid, and the parent knows the kids the best. So I mean, if if I was 6 year old and my parents would have given me GTA 5, it would be fine. I mean, they knew I could handle it, and you know, I wouldn't be different because of it. I can understand that if your kid has a disability or maybe a little slight disability or whatever, then you might say, you know what, let's not play GTA. Let's go for a save. Let's buy a Nintendo Wii and let's give you Mario, for instance. It's
well,
just it's same as gaming. It's fun. You know what? Let's do that. And maybe all your kids or your friends want to play GTA 5, but you're just not playing it. You're playing Mario. Maybe you're the old ball out. Okay, that's it.
well, no, I mean, in general, yeah. I mean, although I think you could. Why have I got a vote?
Wow.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'd agree, but I mean, although you could, I think you could. I, the way I mean is exposing anybody to content that they're not really right for. And I have two votes.
Sorry. Why do you have two votes? Who wants you out?
I can't even vote to kick other people. Like there isn't even an option.
I can vote to kick him. There you go. And you know what? Well,
Going home, taking my votes with me. Um, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think if you expose any kid to content above their age, you are risking it. But obviously, I feel in general it's a very, very, very low risk. And again, it's down to the parent knowing the child, etc., etc., etc.
yeah.
But I mean, when people say video games cause all people, I think that's wrong. I would definitely agree that video games can have an effect the same way any media can. And in a way, I do believe gaming should maybe try to do something more to regulate it to a certain degree, because less of the single player but the multiplayer side of it, that content, you are providing a place where these people can interact with each other and pretty much do what they want to a certain degree. And I don't feel that is a good environment at present. Um, yeah.
But um, still, I know where you're getting from, and coming from. I know what you want to say, but and there's always a but. There is the internet, and if people want to get together and be dumb and stupid and hateful, they will find a place, and they always have a place somewhere on the internet. They don't need video games for that. I personally think the majority of people playing online are decent, normal people, and maybe the oddball out. Maybe sometimes you just cussing around because things aren't going your way. And yes, maybe kids would tend to rage more or try to be all tough and stuff and try to not using word or normal conversation, but grabbing towards dumb, stupid comments like "you're a fuck face" or whatever, because they don't have the mental capabilities of of having a normal conversation yet. If they're being put in a situation which they don't like, so you know, yeah, online gaming, maybe sometimes, maybe really uh, like a breeding ground for morons. But still, I mean, how can you regulate that? Because you can't.
No, I think the oh god, my ping. How do I sound?
Oh, you sound good. Still good.
2,000 ping.
Woohoo!
Well, I mean, I just feel when more things could be done for the distribution of video games, because it's at the moment it's very easy to get your hands on something which you shouldn't have. So that's one element of it. You know, I don't feel like people they should just be able to go up and buy it there. Like, oh yeah, you're with your parent, yeah, but like that parent is making a poor decision, and you know.
Yeah, but if the parent is making that poor
But yeah, I'd
decision,
agree. The ultimate responsibility does lie with the parent.
yeah. I mean, it's the parent's fault and it's the parent's choice, and it's even though it's maybe a bad choice, it's still the parent's choice. I mean, if the parent if the parent wants to buy a video game that is bad for his kid, alright, you know, it's in his right or in her right to do so. Um, is it wise to do so? Maybe not, but it's still in their right to do so. So
Well, no,
eventually,
I don't think it's someone's right to expose a child to something they shouldn't be exposed to. I think it's someone's right to do that. Just because you gave birth to it does not mean you're allowed to change the child's development.
but um, like I said, if my parents would have bought me GTA 5 when I was 6 years old, it was their right, and they knew me for the better, so they probably, you know, they wouldn't have done any damage to me or my development. So if I would say to my son when he's 6 years old, here, play GTA 5, which is by then of course an Asian game, uh, you know, I can do so because it's my kid, and if I think he can handle it, why not? Why shouldn't I let him play it? Um, and if I'm noticing it that it's changing him, and if I'm noticing his behavior is being fucked, then yeah, I should do something about that. So still, it's all right. We're talking in circles. It's parents. I think it's parents' responsibility, and I think you can't really regulate it, nor do you should, because that regulating it and making video games because of no, taking in account these things like that maybe kids could interpret these things differently or maybe badly, whatever, just makes the whole industry dull and less creative. Because the last thing you would want to do is put a creative person on strings and say, all right, you want to make a video game, fine, just make a video game, or you want to make a shooter game, fine, but you have to comply by on these and these and these and these and these rules, cause you know this and this and this, and maybe a kid will eventually sorry, will
I've got an injury
eventually.
on the welcome map. I don't know where they are, but they're in a trap. Mine are on the room, so they're pretty damn close.
So yeah, I think it's not feasible.
They're in the room.
Oh, they're in a room. Jesus.
Yep, I'm here with Montagna. Got him. Everyone's out kicking ass, and I'm just like, oh, thermite! Did not know there was a third one. The window in the little room.
Yeah,
To your left.
I saw you die.
Yep.
Not taking that chance.
No, yeah, no, I do agree, but at the moment it's very easy for anyone to get hold of anything. I'm not saying it needs regulatory means to it, but I feel people in a retail environment should be more aware of that, at least. You know, if they see, let's say, a child with special needs and their parents buying GTA 5 and you've seen the child in the store pick up the game and go, "Mommy, I want," then really, should you be selling that to them? No. But legally, if they want, as long as the mom's buying it, it's cool with them.
Yeah.
So, while I'm not asking for full regulation, I think a little bit more, a little bit more could be done. Maybe even just something to make non-gaming parents aware of the rating system or what these games do contain, or by the way, this game does let your child speak to the world. Maybe you should, keep an eye on that. And I know we want to say parents aren't ignorant, but I feel most, and in this generation, are. Less so probably in the next generation coming, but because obviously we'll be that, you'll be aware of it. I'm aware of it, but at the moment there's still a lot of parents who struggle with tech. Most people at work, I am the tech support, despite having no experience really in, I have no technical qualifications in tech, but they're like, how do I open, Google? Like, I haven't promised you the internet. No, you haven't promised your browser. It's a browser. So, and again, it sounds like, no, yeah, but honestly, it's, of the company, at least 50% of them don't know what the fuck they're doing with any sort of tech. I mean, you mentioned play games, and they're like, what, on the TV? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think you're right. You could have a point there that if maybe they should maybe parents could be more informed. But then again, if you're buying your kid a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Wii or a PC or whatever, and you're allowing that kid to play games, and you haven't looked into anything, you're just like, all right, I'm gonna buy a gaming system because that's what he wants. I'm gonna buy one, without even
I, but,
trying to.
but they do that.
Yeah, but and again, that's on the parents' fault. They shouldn't be. That's just bad parenting again. I mean, I would never buy my kid anything that's like, oh, I want that. It's like, okay, but I'm first gonna, you know what? I'm first gonna kind of do a little bit of a seek on information on what it is that you want. I'm not gonna give you everything right away, 'cause why would I want to do that? I'm gonna inform myself first before I'm gonna buy anything for you. So then again, that's bad parenting. So yeah, maybe parents should be more informed, but isn't it up to themselves to be more informed?
I would say so, yes, but unfortunately parents have proved they can't be. So for the sake of the children, think of the children! But yeah, no, what you're saying isn't wrong. Unfortunately, I don't feel we can trust parents. I think time and time again it's proved that they make poor decisions.
Oh yeah, they do.
Wow, I just kill assist with my little truck drone.
Cool. You're right. Parents do make really bad decisions, and some people, well, they aren't really even fit for being parents because of the fact that they just dumb and stupid, and they just, you know, reproduce
That's
like
how
a
other
rabbit.
thing, how you can just pump out a baby if you feel like it,
Yeah.
what do you have to fill in to have a baby? Nah, well, I have a dick, I have a vagina. Boom! I'm qualified to make a baby.
Yeah.
Sir, why are you currently drinking and inhaling meth? Because I want to. Alright, sir. Go have fun with your baby.
It's my life,
But
so I can have a baby. Yeah. That's the other thing, and that's a whole entire different.
yeah, it's a different discussion for another day.
Yes, because yeah, there should be people who. Some people should never be allowed to have kids whatsoever. But you know what? That's stupidity world stuff, and you know what? That's why I like gaming. I can just escape the real world and leave all those troubles behind. Um, but still, I mean, every single games do not make people violent. It's been proven time over again by every study every independent study that's being done that isn't biased against gaming, because that's something to reckon with. Because there are some studies out there that are biased against gaming, and they will say gaming makes your kid violent. Your gaming makes your kid a sexist pig. No, you are assuming things. A and B, you're not being really truthfully honest here. So what? Your entire study is bullshit. So all the independent studies showed there is gaming do not make people violent. Gaming does not cause mass shootouts at schools. Gaming does not make all men horny little boys who want to beat up women and rape them. It is not true. And I don't get why there is such a movement against gaming. Is it because these people don't have a life? They don't like gamers? They don't like gaming? They think it's for kids? What is it?
I think it's very easy to pinpoint a lot of the blame is down to a lack of understanding. Because back when TV first came about, it's like, oh, this could be poisoning our youth and so on, and comic books, same. Media always goes through the stage where people are unaware of it, and their fear turns into blame. They're scared of it. So that's why they try to pinpoint it down, because they see something which is hard for them to process. Let's say mass shootouts, rape, abuse. All of that stems from things which, in the normal human day-to-day stuff, they find it hard to process. And unfortunately, these things do happen. And the thing is like, oh, why can this happen? Well, the child is doing this thing which I don't understand. It must be linked. And from there, gaming becomes a scapegoat, because it's just a way for them to feel like they understand. Because being able to blame video games makes them feel a hell of a lot better than just saying people are shitty. We can't always pinpoint down, sometimes it's bad parenting, and sometimes people just are, messed up, and there isn't always a tangible reason, and that sucks. But
Yeah, but still, I don't really understand why they are always blaming. Yeah, I understand the fact that maybe they do not understand it, but not understanding something isn't a viable reason to blame all of your problems on it.
well, it's easier to say video games did it than I raised my child badly.
Oh yeah.
Or to say, it's easier actually to say video games did it than to say that person's messed up. It's just easier. And it's
True.
like, I don't understand this, so...
Yeah, maybe that's it. That could be it. I don't know. It's still it's one of those things that it makes me angry at some points, because video game is something we enjoy doing. We love it, and it's our maybe hobby or whatever you call it. And you constantly have to defend it against some people, because even though some of the reports that are out there that say gaming makes your kid violent or whatever are false, it is still picked up by mainstream media, and that's what most people read, or at least normal people read, or are not in really like deep into the let's call it industry or whatever. It's like they only will read like the bad things about gaming. So you constantly have to defend what you're doing. Like, you're playing video games. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I read that video games makes my kids really really violent. Like, no. Yeah, but there was this study. Yeah, it was false. Yeah. No, it can't be false. Yeah. Well, it was. No, but everybody is talking about it. Yeah, it's still false. Don't know what you want me to tell you about it, but it's still not true. So that kind of pisses me off sometimes. Like, I don't want to constantly have to defend myself for being a gamer and defend the thing that I love. because people don't understand it. You know, fuck that if you don't understand it. I mean, then if you don't understand, try to understand. Try to read up on things. Try to understand it instead of saying no, I don't understand it. I don't know what it is. It is bad and it is stupid. So I'm condemning it for all eternity. Yeah, you got one there. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
outside. I'm dead.
Oh, you dead?
Well, I'm outside on my own. Let me back in, let me back in, let me back in. I'm back!
I'm outside. I'm dead. Let me back in. Let me back in. You're clearly not dead.
I fell down a ladder and I'm just like hauling ass. That's what he was going round to find me.
Oh, you were a nice distraction there.
Yeah, no shit. No, I agree. I think it's just the way people are, and I find I just try to stay not angered by it because it won't help the situation, and it's just stay calm and just try to educate people to make them aware. Because again, once you're educated in it, it's not something you would believe. It's just down to people being ill-informed. Because when the internet and video games all came out, there's very much a pushback of, well, I don't need that. And there still is in the older generation, they don't want to hear about it. I think the difference is, going back 2 generations ago, people turn around and television was very widely adapted. To begin with, there was a huge pushback, and that some old people were like, well, I'll happily listen to the radio, I don't need TV. But I think it's just going through that sort of period in a more modern time, and it's more a matter of time until gaming becomes more accepted, not a matter of if. And in the meantime, we just have to deal with ignorant people and just get on with it. I mean, the other issue really is there are some toxic areas of gaming which unfortunately we as a community need to come together and quell, and that would help our case. You know, take a look at all the trolling and some, like I said earlier about the online gaming, just the general kind of atmosphere, because obviously adults also aggravate the children. You know, you all say, oh, you know, you start making fun of them for being a child, and that only makes things worse. And you've got, you know, all the people who swap people. That happens from video games. You know, there's so many different things in video games which is caused by the community where we are in the wrong. I don't mean us specifically, but we as a community. So I think we could do better, and we need to do our little part, and eventually things will be more acceptable.
Yeah, but I still the majority of gamers out there aren't trolls. The majority of gamers out there aren't.
Oh my fucking hell! Apparently my melee on Capivera did not work, and I died because I meleeed and that downed me.
Oh fuck me! But the majority of gamers aren't trolls, and the majority of gamers aren't assholes and swatting people or whatever. It's just...
It doesn't matter. It's the minority that speaks. You know, I'm not again going to compare it to, let's say, Islamophobia or anything like that. But it's remember, it's the vocal minority which inform the masses. And by getting shouty and angry about it, that doesn't change anything. It doesn't make things better. And again, you don't blame everybody for it, but it's a small minority that ruins it for everybody. It's a shame, but the way things are at the moment. Some few people ruin it for the you know, the rest of everyone else.
I don't know what happened there. Wait. Oh, cool.
I mean, if you haven't got anything else to add, I think that's a good rounded off discussion there.
Yeah. Still not satisfied. I, I must say, uh, you know, uh, even though I understand what you were saying, I still my main problem with everyone who says gaming should be regulated or gaming makes people violent, gaming makes people sexist or whatever, is that A, it isn't true, so you're making a false statement there, and B, um, it all depends. If you're looking at kids, it all depends on parenting, and if you're looking at adults, you know what? If a 30-year-old man is gonna call someone a asshole or call someone a moron or a homophobic reaction to something, it's not because of the game. A, it's because maybe the way he's been brought up, or B, he's just an asshole. The game has nothing to do with it. It's maybe his his outlet of doing and saying stuff, but it's not the game that made him that way.
Well, no, but you just said there the game has nothing to do with it, but the game facilitates it, or the game can reinforce something. Even if it's only a small part of it, it can have some effect. I don't think it's right to say that it has none. Obviously, I think it's played up to a huge degree, but we just admitted that, let's say someone is a little bit mentally challenged or that, yes, it's bad parenting, but can the game actually have an effect? Technically, yeah. Can the environment be negative for it? Yeah. But, I mean, you're saying, like, do we blame the game? Possibly not, but we're saying, well, yeah, well, we're pretty much saying you don't blame the game, but the game does have an effect there.
Yeah,
Because of bad parenting, yeah.
but if there are like 100 people in a room playing Monopoly together, Monopoly, one of the most like family games out there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What kind of fucking thing, what country are you from? Fucking Monopoly is not a family game, that's a family breaker. That's like, hey, you want your family to hate
No,
each
no,
other, then let's
no,
play a
no,
game of
no, no,
Monopoly
no,
and
no.
piss away your evening as
The
well.
only
Top of
the
that.
only way Monopoly is a family breaker is A, someone breaks the rules, or B, the bank is dishonest. That's it. You just have to play by the rules. That's it. And if you play by the rules, then
But
nothing will
but
happen.
but again, that's why it's a family breaker though, because the difference is the bank is bad or someone cheats. Again, that's on the person, but the
Yeah.
game facilitates the fact that you're allowed to cheat on it,
So
and that's what pisses people off.
actually, we should say that Monopoly facilitates divorce. Like 90%
In
of all
some cases,
breakups
it,
and
it,
divorces
it,
in the world it's been caused by Monopoly, and all the kids who come from broken homes, they should all sue Hasbro for Monopoly.
you blame the parents in every case there,
Yeah,
but
the game facilitated it. It's a platform.
yeah, although the Monopoly game isn't actually reinforcing anything, being
No,
an inert media rather than in interactive media.
no. What I was trying to say is, if you have a online game, be it Monopoly, maybe be it fucking Sudoku or Scrabble or Wordfeud, whatever you call it. If you have 100 per people in a chat room, doesn't even matter which game you're playing, or even if you're playing a game, people will be assholes and people will be dicks and people will be dumb and stupid. So yeah, maybe there is a platform for it because ooh, we can play online, we can have video games, we can play video games. But if it was uh, I don't know, if it was a group chat for Bob Ross paintings, there will always be people who are assholes and try to fuck things up for other people. That's just human nature. So blaming video games there on every level is wrong. Because a video game is nothing more than some pixels being generated by a computer for people to enjoy, instead of it being this big religious kind of thing that can change behavior of kids and can change the behavior of people altogether. But still, that's
I'm inside.
oh, I'm not.
Very much so inside as well. I'm about to breach.
I'm on a roof.
Ah, got me. Well, the thing is, I get exactly where you're coming from, but in my opinion, you are slightly ignoring the fact that it can have an effect. It's very much like games are completely innocent, where I think they are 99% innocent, mostly innocent, but there are some things about video games which don't help with a lot of, obviously, some of the earlier video games not having well-developed female characters, because obviously it was pandering to a male audience, so I can see why originally that has generated the sexism vibe from it. You know, I can see very much that when you put small, impressionable, lonely kids into an environment where all they hear are, you know, gay and racial slurs, they can start to believe that that's okay. And it's, you know, shitty that that happens, but it does. And yeah, are video games to blame for it? Not completely, but I think it's also, you know, you can't just ignore it, because it's there. They have a responsibility. It'd be nice if you could turn around and say it's all the, you know, it's all the parents should be better parenters, but same reason that when, by the way, if you're still alive, Valkyrie's dying behind you. She's lying prone. Right there. You're welcome.
Oh.
It's the same reason that there's certain things, you know, people should be aware. You know, you don't sell knives to children, but you still got to tell employees that, because that you don't blame the knife, but there are things that you sometimes have to do to help it along. I just feel like there are some things the industry could be doing to help people.
But you said you mentioned it a couple of times. There are things the industry should do or could do to help or facilitate this problem. What? Name something. I mean, you're saying
Well,
it, but
there's
I'm not
two different
hearing.
coins of it. There's we first of all mentioned one parent should be more informed, because a video game just slapping the age rating on there is not enough to inform them of what is the game or what it is doing. We know that. Parents don't read that. They just buy the game anyway. Just go, yep, whatever. You go into a game shop and they're allowed to walk out with it. You know, you look at the game and it's some of them are marketed towards children to a certain degree. They won't come right out and say it, but you look at the back of the box and it's not marketed towards an adult mind, despite being an 18+ game. It's marketed in a juvenile way, and the kid goes, oh, that's awesome. I don't know, there's something you could definitely put on there to warn parents that, hey, this is not a game for kids, maybe. And if they choose to buy it anyway, fine, but they need to, you know, they're not aware of that, some of the more ignorant people. You've got another side of it of, there are many times where people will be banned when they look back on content when people are reported. And you know someone there will be underage. They may even admit to being underage, but their account remains active and everything, despite the fact of that happening. You know, they could throw out racial or homophobic slurs, and it's just seen as that's okay. They might be at best removed from that match, but often allowed to continue their thing. So rather than PlayStation turn around and going, hey, we know you use homophobic slurs on our service, that's not okay, but we're not going to ban you for it. It would be a clear sign to kids, hey, you shouldn't do that, and you're now punished for it, because that's how children learn a lot of the times, from punishment, really. You know, they've done something wrong, they need to be punished for it. Oh, fuck.
They need to be reprimanded for it, yes, and bad behavior should have...
It's a shame games have to do what parents should do, but I think because of the type of interactive medium, they need to, otherwise kids will grow up thinking some things are okay.
Yeah, but if you were a parent, would you want a company like Ubisoft or EA or whatever to be on your seat as a parent? If you know what I mean? Do you want to be
No,
told
I get where you're
you
going
are a
with it, but
bad
that's not
parent?
what I meant. Because the thing is, if you've got your child who's, let's say, throwing homophobic slurs around, first of all, I'd like to think I would never be in that position. But if I was in that position, I feel they should be punished for it. Same reason when you take a child to school, you know, you expect, if they started doing that, you expect them to be punished. Even in public, I'd like to think that if someone started being, if there's my child and my child was, let's say, out with friends and they started being racist, I'd like to think someone steps in and says, that's not okay. Should they have to be the parent? No. But would it help? Well, yeah. You know, I mean, if I saw someone being racist out in public, I'd like to think I'd turn around and say something. Um, More because it's what you do as people. And if your content's allowing people to behave in a bad way, there should be an element of help towards it, because you're allowing that to continue. The same way,
Right.
you know, you watch something happen, you're kind of to blame to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent, you are to blame and you can be prosecuted for it. I mean, if you see someone drowning and you're not trying to help, you can be brought up on criminal charges. All right, but then again, if the industry, like if for instance, like just say Rockstar Gaming brings out new GTA 6, how can Rockstar make sure that parents know what their kids are buying besides putting the well-known R-rated little thingy on the box? Because you
Well,
just have a box, you have so much room to do whatever you want to do with it, and they're still a company, they still need to make money, so they still need to advertise it. So
I've seen games advertised on channels which are designed for children or during airtime, where children easily see this content because it's at a time when is their normal, you know, watching. So, for first of all, there's certain things which maybe they turn and say, you know what, we're not going to market our game at this time because we know that kids are going to see this. Instead, it's oh, this is prime time. Hopefully, kids will see this, and you know, we can sell more copies of the game.
yeah, all right. So that's not the fault of maybe not only of the of the game company, but also of the people who are putting the media or the advertising out there. So of course there's an
But
entire thing behind it.
we both know that games are advertised to children, even though they say, oh no, we're not. But there are certain choices they make which are clearly showing their bias towards people of a certain age.
Yeah, but I have never seen GTA being marketed for kids, for little kids. They've always been marketed towards indeed the adolescent male, like the people who would enjoy that game, because that's what they intended to make it for. GTA wasn't intended to be made for for the female audience, because you know what, most most females would not like the game.
I'm flanking him. Oh god, there's one in here.
Oh fuck me.
Ah, that didn't go so well.
Halsey went after us.
Well, yeah, but again, it does advertise. It has in mind. It knows people. The game companies know that little children play. They know have the percentage of people. They know there's many people who do it, but they do it anyway because it's money. So, although they might not directly come out and say it, they don't try to avoid it either.
Um,
It's a willful negligence. You know, Sony, Microsoft, they know how many people underage play their games.
yeah, but if
They
right,
know how many.
have
You know,
have you seen a GTA 5 commercial on Kids Time ever on television? We're talking television now,
define
right?
kids' time. I've seen it during the day.
All right. Well, maybe
When it was hot, obviously not now, but
maybe it's different in because I've not seen a GTA 5 commercial on air during the day when kids are watching, or even on kids channels. I haven't seen it either.
well, it's less so kids channels, but like on like the cable channels, you'll see that at video games, especially like GTA. You would see on uh, BBC One at like prime time almost.
All right. Well, I
You know,
mean,
kids come home from school 3 o'clock. You'll have that in between things. It'll be like GTA, and it will say obviously 18 in the bottom right hand corner, but that's advertising while children can see it.
I understand when we're talking about YouTube, because YouTube can't really help that, because it's just an algorithm, and the commercials are just being put under whatever you're watching, or whatever you are watching the most. So I understand why it could be on YouTube, and not. Wow, they come from the tunnel. It's Twitch from the tunnel. But I haven't seen anything like, we're just talking GTA right now. GTA on primetime television, or at least on
Well,
kids'
the
time
thing is,
television.
GTA is a bad example as well because it's been years since it was showing on TV.
Yeah.
And I don't really watch TV much anymore, really, to have much of a current assertion of it. But at least historically, I saw Call of Duty advertised on TV. I saw Call of Duty advertised while I was underage and thought, yeah, look cool. I was, for all intents and purposes, their target audience at the time.
All right. Fair enough. I can give you that one. So
Well,
they should
again,
monitor better where their ads are going on television. So that should be monitored better.
But regardless of the ins and outs of it, my point just starts and ends with everyone knows that underage kids play these games well before they should.
Yeah.
And
But
in some people, this can affect the child. So gaming should do something, maybe something small, maybe something more. It doesn't really matter the degree of it. Something to help this, because clearly people aren't in the know.
no,
And I'm not
I
saying they're completely responsible, but I think it's also just a willful negligence to just look away and pretend it's okay while the money rolls in.
no, no, mm, uh, well, let's take GTA, the most violent game, one of the most violent games out there.
Well, no, it's not the most. No, if GTA is I still think GTA is just a shit example in general because it's not really that violent though.
No,
Like
I
you
agree
play a
with
game
you.
like Manhunt or something,
No, I
then you're
agree with
talking
you.
like proper.
I agree with you completely that GTA isn't that violent, but GTA is being viewed as the most violent game by the majority of people who are against gaming, because that's their benchmark. That's like, you got GTA, that's Satan, the devil, everything else. It's GTA, pof. So let's.
I mean, have you heard of Manhunt?
Yeah, I've heard of Manhunt. It's
So
being
you play that
banned
as a
in.
convicted
Yeah.
serial killer where you go around, literally getting a plastic bag around a police officer and kill them that way.
Mhm.
So, I can go on Steam and buy that game right now as a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
So, there isn't anything there on Steam to tell a parent, oh, by the way, your child's going to be playing this game.
No, but even on Steam, they're doing their job, because they're saying you have to be above this certain age, and we have an age verification system in place. And yes, it is not the best system in the world, but what more can you do? You want to facilitate the entire audience by putting games online and making them available for people like you and me to buy and to get them easily, so that we don't have to get up from our chairs and your beanbag and have to go to the store. We can just buy them off Steam up, and there is an age verification system there. And yes, it's not great, but then again, if a 12-year-old kid puts in like a false false age there or false date of birth, he's committing a crime basically. But
Yeah, but
how would Steam how could Steam even try to uh, try to stop that without having the hassle of asking everybody for credit card information, or every adult should have a credit card if you want to buy online, because that's the only way it's possible. Just make
well,
sure
I,
everybody has a
I,
credit card.
I'd say you would have that to a certain degree. Someone should have some sort of payment details saved because at least then the parent is being made aware of what the child is buying. So if you've got a payment method there, it's going to show up. Your child has bought Manhunt. You know what I mean? At least then the game industry is trying to alert parents of what is going on there. And again, like I said before, should the game industry have to do this? No. But it would help its case.
All right, so okay, but then
I know it's very easy at present, and it's very easy to turn around and just say, it's all parents' fault, and yeah, at the end of the day, it does come down to it should be, but we know it's not. So because it's your product that's being used, and it is your responsibility to make sure that gets out to the right people, and I don't think much, if anything, is done at the moment.
but then it's the same with knives. If you make that comparison, if a child can't buy a knife, but everybody has knives in the drawer. So if a child takes out a knife from the drawer and stabs someone to death, it is not the manufacturer of that knife that is to blame, even though maybe they did everything they could, saying this is not a toy. You should keep away from children.
Yeah, but all parents understand what a knife is. Or 99.9% of parents know what a knife is. They know what it does. You can't say that same at video games. We've already agreed that parents are nowhere near as aware as they should be.
True.
So I think it's an unfair comparison because same thing about guns. We're all aware of what guns can do, which is why you're supposed to keep in a locked cabinet.
Even
But
that's not true, because there are people who have guns and they don't have them in lock cabinets. They still have them out in the open.
well, in certain states, I think you can have them out, and they don't have to be in locked. I mean, it's different. I mean, in the UK, you got to have the ammo locked in a case and the gun locked separate places.
Yeah, here in Holland,
but
the same.
Yeah, and those are the laws in regards to that. So they've actually introduced laws where if the parent does not follow that, then the parent is prosecutable. Even there is something in place.
That's true.
Again, I don't want to come. At the end of the day, I am a firm believer that it does rely on the parents, and the video games are not the cause, and that they are good. But there are some bad things about video games. I think omitting them doesn't, that they don't exist, or that video games aren't somewhat responsible, even to just a small degree, in how they act. It's also just as bad as saying they are completely to blame.
Yeah, no, sorry. I I'm with you on that. They might influence behavior to a certain degree, which I'm not really certain of. I'm wary of as well, because I know of a case where a father had his little kid on GTA, and he's like, "Here, you can do this," and the kid is like, "I don't want to drive over people. That is wrong, Daddy. You should just drive on the road, and I don't want to kill that dog." And the kid plays the game like a model citizen, like he's been taught in real life. He's playing the game like that. Um, so yes, where was I going with this? Oh, um, selecting an operator, losing my train of thought. That's always good. Um, so I think that's a recap,
I mean,
please.
I've seen children who I expect would be round children and would be fine, and then I've seen them use racial slurs that they have obviously heard online and assumed that it's normal. It's not until someone turned around, a parent told them to turn around and said, "Do you realise what you're saying?" that they've realised what they were doing. But the parent had no idea that that was something that was even going on, because they thought video games is this nice thing that, you know, it's all nice and friendly, unbeknownst to them what was actually happening.
Yeah, right, but that's what I want to make my point is like then it all kind of comes down to parenting, and parents have to be more in touch with what their kids are doing and be more into what what that is their hobby, not just taking it for granted like, oh, my kid is playing video games and I think it's nice and all fluffy and all Tetris or Super Mario Land or whatever. No, if you're, and then again, I mean, if your kid has a PlayStation, he probably has a stack of the game cases next to his PlayStation, so you kind of know what he is playing. And if the kid has locked his PlayStation or whatever, you can't get in as a parent. You should say, you know what, fuck that shit. You're not going to be on your PlayStation anymore. I'm gonna check on what you are doing there. It's the same with the internet. I mean, if you have a kid and you give him a laptop or a computer, I mean, uh, some people might be wary of like, oh, what are you allowing your 6 or 7 year olds alone on the internet? And I think you should say yes. Why not? I'm monitoring it. I'm checking it, and if they're doing things that are wrong, then they know, and I'll take it away. And then the punishment is you're not going to be on the internet anymore. And that's the same with games. If you're playing a game, if my kid is going to play a game which I'm not comfortable of him playing because I notice different in behavior in him because of the game, then as a parent, should say you're not going to play this game anymore. It's not for you. Yeah, it's you're done. And if he's trying to say, no, no, I want to play, it's like, nope, I'm the parent. I decide what you can and cannot play. And this game you can obviously not play. So, fine, you won't play it. And that's the same with the internet in general. If your kid is on internet and his laptop, and they're doing things which are which are which you are not completely in tune with, you could say, all right, you have uh, you have lost your right to use the laptop now, and you cannot be on the laptop anymore. You cannot be on the internet anymore because you have broken every rules I've made and put up for you. So basically, it all comes. Someone here has, by the way,
Where?
Twitch is here in the end of the corridor.
What, by me?
No, on the other side, by me, by the window you put up, at the beginning of the plane. He's now coming in.
What, like
Uh,
3,000? Please. Please, that's... You did.
Jesus, 3,800. Gee, your ping is going up.
Send help.
Time expires in 10 seconds. 5 seconds to go. Mission failed.
Oh, you've been removed from the match.
Fuck's sake, I couldn't be shit. Right, better wrap up here because my internet's dying.
Oh yeah, it's dying. You sound like you're dying. Like, I'm somewhere in buttfuck of middle of nowhere.
Bye from me if you want to up, because I'm probably going to drop off any second.
Uh-oh. Well, anyways, yeah, let's wrap it up here. Well, I think we agree on that video games do not make you violent little fuckers. Video games do not give you a opportunity to kill other people or will make you kill other people. That's just not true. I'm on the side of it's all on the parents' heads, and I think Blazing is with me on that a little bit, and also on the side of the industry and all the video game developers should do more to prevent stuff, which I'm totally not cool with, but you know, it's his opinion and he can have his own opinion because that's the world we're living in. It's a fucking free world and everybody can have his own opinion. Um, right? You're still here, right? No, you're not? Oh, you sound a little bit better. Or not? Are you
a
just
very long delay.
a very long delay. Alright. Well, anyways, so let's wrap it up. This was episode 13 on a more serious subject of does gaming influence people? Yes or no? So yeah, I kind of enjoyed this. I kind of enjoyed this chat. So I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you're watching, I would say thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave us a like. If you didn't like it, hit that dislike button. If you have any comments, suggestions, or you just want to say your 2 bits about our conversation, put it down below in the comment section, and we'll be sure to check it out. I'll also be leaving all our individual
Description.
informations down there, so you could check Blazing's channel out, or you could check my channel out, or you could check out Net's channel. Hopefully she will be back next week. So yeah, that's for it for now. Thank you for watching, and for me, Innersphere, I say thank you for watching, and bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, he's back. Bye.